You ever get that feeling that there are these secret, unwritten rules to speaking English, the kind of stuff they just don't teach you in a textbook? Well, guess what? You're totally right. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on those secrets. We're going to dive in and really get a feel for the natural sound and rhythm of English. So, let's start with something you've probably heard a million times, the word water. You see it written with a T, plain as day. But when you hear people say it, it sounds a lot more like waiter, right? With a D sound. So what's up with that? Stick with me because we are absolutely going to figure it out. All right, let's jump into our first secret. We've got to start at the very beginning, right? With the tiny building blocks of the language, vowels and consonants. Okay, let's tackle two sounds that can really trip people up, the ow sound and the ah sound. Take the word boat. The sound here is actually a glide. Go ahead and try it with me. You start with O and then you kind of slide into a wah sound. Ow. See how your lips start out round and then close up a bit? Now compare that to bot. That's a totally different thing. It's just one single open sound. You just drop your jaw and say ah. It's a completely different shape for your mouth, and that's the whole key. So, you ready to put this to the test? I want you to say this sentence out loud right now. Have you ever bought a boat ticket? Really feel the difference there? That big jaw drop for bot, and then that little lip closing glide for boat. Nailing that one little difference, it's going to make a huge impact on how clear you sound. Okay, let's circle back to that mystery of the letter T. There's a name for this, you know. It's called the flop T. And honestly, the easiest way to think about it is as a lazy T. It's what happens when a T gets kind of squished between two vowel sounds. Instead of making a sharp, hard T sound, our tongues get a little lazy. They just quickly flap against the roof of the mouth. And what you end up with is a sound that's way closer to a soft D. Here's a classic example, butter. We almost never say butter with that hard, choppy sound. Nope, because that T is stuck right between the U vowel and the E vowel, it just softens. It turns into butter. It just rolls off the tongue so much smoother, it's faster, and it's way, way more common when you're just talking. And there it is, the answer to our big question from the beginning. The exact same lazy T rule is what's happening with water. The T is right there between the A and the E sound, so it flaps. And water becomes waiter. See, it's not a mistake or bad pronunciation. It's one of those secret, unwritten rules of English rhythm. All right, moving on to secret number 2, the power of word stress. So we've talked about individual sounds. Now we're going to level up and see how just changing the emphasis, the stress inside a single word can literally change everything. Check this out. A perfect example is the word suspect. Now, if you put this stress on that first syllable, suspect, it's a noun. That's the person the police are after. But watch this. If you just shift that stress to the second syllable, suspect, poof, it becomes a verb. It's the action of believing someone might be guilty. Isn't that wild? Same exact spelling, but they're two totally different words. And the only thing that changes is where you put the stress. Let's listen to that noun in a real sentence. Should a teacher treat a misbehaving student like a suspect? You can really hear that punch on the first part, can't you? Suspect. That emphasis clearly points to a person. And now let's try the verb. Think about when you're watching a detective show. Do you usually suspect the same person the police do? Feel that? The energy is all on the second half of the word. Suspect. That's the action. Being able to hear this shift and use it is absolutely crucial for making sure people know exactly what you mean. Okay, so we've done individual sounds and we've done stress inside words. Now it's time to zoom out for our final secret. Secret number 3. This is all about mastering conversational rhythm. This is the glue that makes everything flow together. Now listen up, because this is probably the biggest secret of them all for sounding smooth. It has nothing to do with speaking faster. It's not a race. It's all about linking your words together. See, native speakers don't really talk word by word by word. We talk in flowing sound groups, where the end of one word just melts into the beginning of the next one. Let me show you exactly how this works with a super simple example. He is. Nobody says he is with a hard stop in between. Think about it. The word he ends with that long E sound, and is starts with a vowel. So what happens is we naturally build this little ya sound bridge to connect them. He is magically turns into he is. It just becomes one smooth connected sound. Okay, your turn. I want you to try this right now. Think of a friend. Now, answer this question out loud. What is one activity he's always excited to do? Don't even think about he and is as two separate words. Just let them blend together into that one smooth sound, he is. Seriously, getting this down is one of the biggest game changers for conversational flow. So there you have it. 3 of the biggest unwritten rules of spoken English unlocked. First, you've got the flap T, the lazy T that turns butter into butter. Then you've got word stress, the magic trick that turns a suspect into the action to suspect. And finally, you've got sound linking, the glue that turns he is into that super smooth he is. Look, mastering these things isn't about erasing your accent or anything like that. It's about adding a powerful new tool to your communication toolbox, something that'll make you sound clearer and feel more confident. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you're watching a movie or listening to a podcast or just talking to someone, listen with new ears. Really pay attention. Now that you know the rules, what are you going to hear that you never noticed before?